This is a demonstration of a new Neurolink app for smartphones. At this time, we have it working on an iPhone. Soon it will be on Androids. The idea here is to allow patients or anybody to learn about the brain, learn about networks of the brain, and eventually when it's functioning and made functional by a clinician who subscribes to the Neurolink subscription, then the clinician will be able to control what tests the individual can take, and also the patient will be referred to the location, have contact information, and get in contact with the clinician. And this way, this app can help drive patients to clinicians who have subscribed, where the clinician now can work with the patient to determine the severity of symptoms and watch the symptoms improve as they treat. Now I'm going to go to the smartphone and I'm going to click it to activate the app. This is the first splash page that comes up. This splash page will disappear and go to the next page if you do nothing, or you can just tap the iPhone and then you go to the next page. Eventually we'll have this an animated head at the top. You can click for on test, and here's 6 tests. Only one is active. That's the symptom checklist test. The other 5 can be activated by the clinician if they have subscribed, and the full and complete evaluation of these different categories of psychological problems will be active. Now, if you tap on symptom checklist, you'll get a description explaining that this smartphone app is for educational purposes only, and it's not intended to be a diagnostic instrument. It's a self-assessment instrument. There will be 33 questions. Right now we have a small number, but those 33 questions will be broken down into 10 different symptom categories. After you read this, then you can then click I agree and move to the symptom checklist. I'm just going to randomly go through this. First one, for example, I have cravings for alcohol or drugs. I'll say never. I deny having problems. I'm easily distracted. People usually have to repeat words. I have balance problems, etc. And there'll be 33 for now. There's just a small number because this is a demo. And this explains what the symptom checklist is and what to do next. And there's, like I mentioned, 10 brain networks that you can evaluate the severity of your symptoms with respect to these networks. I'm going to click the proceed button. And now you get a bar graph showing the severity of the symptoms. And even though I clicked whatever we want to look at, I'm going to click, for example, depression network. And you can see it's red because it's a severe level of symptomology. You can use your fingers to expand the head. You can move the head model up and down. You can rotate with your fingers. You can click this icon in the top and get rid of the cortex. You can put it back in. You can look at here's the other networks. Here's the attention network, which is green, meaning it's got very low, it's 25% or less severity. 77 or 60% or higher would be severe, and it would be red. You can look at the networks in different ways. You can recenter the brain. Go to the executive and move it around as you wish and explore these networks. Get rid of the cortex, etc. Now I'm going to click history, which will put us to a radar map showing the severity of symptoms. And I go back to graph, or if I want, I click network and go back to networks and learn about these networks as they relate to the scientific literature. Under About in the upper right, there'll be a complete description with citations to the scientific literature, so anybody who wants to learn about the executive network or any of these networks, the pain network, the memory network, etc., they can do that by going to the scientific literature. So as an educational tool, that's what this does. We can go click the home button. We can go to find a clinician. This explanation of the website called anineurolink.com. You can visit that website. Let's say that you're living in Colorado. We click the Colorado button, and if we had a subscriber there, which we have not launched this yet, then clinicians located in Colorado, perhaps near you, will be identified by their contact information so that you can arrange, or a patient can arrange an appointment. I'm going to go back to the home key, and then we can always look at our tests. I'm going to do another test. I'm going to go to the graph. And I'm now just taking the test again, just randomly hitting these. Now I'm going to go to proceed. Here's another bar graph. Let's say the executive function is not very good. I can examine the executive function. I can see it's red, but over time, as one's executive function improves, then this should turn green as a function of treatment or whatever is necessary to help an individual. Now I'm going to go to history, and you'll see there are two radar maps. This is the one I did previously, or I just did. You can get rid of them. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. And so you can get 5 of these, and you can see how your symptoms have changed. You can target these particular, if you're using biofeedback, target these particular networks to reinforce greater stability and efficiency in the network, and hopefully reduce the severity of the symptom. So I'm going to go back to the home page here. I'm going to click here where it says click for information. So you can come to our website and get a lot more information about what Neurolink is. Clinicians will use this to integrate the NeuroGuide, where you measure the EEG. You go to NeuroGuide and you do neurofeedback and target the networks that are most deviant from or most severe in the problems for an individual. So this is a free app. It can help drive individuals to clinicians who subscribe. And then once the clinician does subscribe, then the clinician can control this app themselves and work with their patients, because then the full number of tests will be available. For pain, for example, it says that test is not activated. Concussion, it's not activated. But the clinician can activate any of these tests, and there will be more in the future, to evaluate the severity of patients' symptoms and work with that patient to reduce the severity of the symptoms. So thank you for watching.